She's tough enough.
You're pretty.
You're not.
She's fast enough.
Want to play poker with me, little lady?
Looks like you're having a pretty good time playing with yourself.
The only question is,
I always win.
Maybe one day your luck will run out.
are they man enough?
Scully your butt out of town.
Say that again.
Sharon Stone, Gene Hackman, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Sure must want to die young, miss.
The Quick and the Dead. Rated R. At theaters February 10th.
Howdy, cowpokes. Welcome back to the Westerns for Life podcast and our new sort of iteration. Of course, first of all, we just have to address the elephant in the room, or not in the room in this case. And we used to be 3 floating heads here, and we lost 1 floating head. So we do want to pay our respects to our brother-in-arms, Dan, who is no longer going to join us for these episodes for the foreseeable time in the near future. But of course, the saloon door, as we say, is always open for him if he wants to come back. So we are missing Dan. It's just going to be Carlos and myself moving forward from now on. And with that having been said, let's introduce today's film that we're going to talk about. So I'm going to bring it over to you, Carlos.
Okay, so yeah, this is episode 22, and we're going to be talking about, this is going to be actually our 30th year anniversary. We're going to be talking about the 1995 Sam Raimi American Western, The Quick and the Dead.
Yes, and we do also have a poster shot for it. There we go. What a stacked cast. The plot.
So yeah, the brief synopsis of this, I'll try to be as brief as I can without giving too many spoilers. Set in 1881, a female gunfighter arrives in a small old western town of Redemption, and it's actually run by a outlaw turned mayor, John Herod, played by Gene Hackman. And obviously, as a case in most westerns, this gunfighter has arrived in this town with a motive from her past, and she enters in this elimination gunfighter tournament where you get many characters and gunfighters in the movie, which we'll talk about in detail.
The characters.
Yeah.
So we'll go into the main cast, the main 4 leads to this blockbuster western, and the first lead is actually goes to a female lead,
The Woman of the
Sharon
West.
Stone.
Yeah.
Women of the West, yeah.
Women of the West.
Yeah, which is rare in Western movies. Sharon Stone plays the lady, well, known as Lady, but her name is called Ellen, as the female gunfighter. What did you think of Sharon Stone in this movie, Jeff?
I really liked her in this film. I'm a big fan of Sharon Stone ever since seeing her, obviously, in some more steamy roles like Basic Instinct, and even there's a little section in Total Recall where she does show a little bit and stuff, and Action Jackson. She's been in so many great things. Obviously, I think her best performance all around is Casino. Martin Scorsese's Casino, 1995, the same year actually as this one. In which she really played, the despicable character. You really hated her. She really played that part so well. I mean, if there was a character that I just wanted to reach into the screen and strangle, it was her in Casino. So she did a great job in that film. In this one, I think she equally does a really fine job as the female gunslinger, the female lead, the woman of the West in this film. She doesn't take any nonsense. She doesn't mess around. She does have a past and a history, which we'll obviously find out as we watch the film. I don't want to spoil too much. But no, I think it's all around a great performance, and another great addition in Sharon Stone's catalog of many great films, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I think of Sharon Stone. How about yourself?
Obviously, Sharon Stone was hot. She was hot property at this time in the 90s with Basic Instinct. Probably one of the ladies in female actress that was in demand. Obviously, she's the main lead in this one. Obviously, the Casino performance would come, I think it was after this movie, which I've always said that was her greatest performance. worthy of an Academy Award. I think she was nominated.
Think so.
Um,
Yeah.
in this role, I think she tries a little bit too hard to be a Clint Eastwood female version. I think she tries a little bit too
I
hard.
did
I
think
mean,
that. Yeah.
yeah, with the kind of the shortened dialogue and
And
smoking
the
the cigar.
cigar. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought it didn't really need that. And probably, the love scene, which in some countries was shortened. I don't know whether that was really, really needed for this movie.
Yeah.
But, Sharon Stone, obviously Basic Instinct and, the Sly Stallone movie,
The
The Specialist.
specialist. Yeah. Yeah.
She was known for, as a bit of a
Sliver.
demand.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe that was written in the contract. If you're going to sort of show the flesh, then the purse goes up. I don't know,
I wouldn't be
but
surprised. Yeah.
yeah, in Hollywood it
Yeah.
is what it is in Hollywood. But I thought she was good, decent. Not my favourite character, I must say,
No, I will
but
agree. Yeah.
she does good. I mean, you could have had other actresses that could have played this role, Gina Davis or Sigourney Weaver, but at that time,
Linda
Sharon
Hamilton, maybe.
Stone,
Yeah.
yeah, but at that time, Sharon Stone was hot property, and plus she was co-producer of this movie, so
Yeah.
she's got a big foot into the production of this movie. So we'll go on to the next lead, which is actually the leading male lead, veteran actor Gene Hackman, who plays the villain, the
Yeah.
outlaw turned mayor, John Herod. What did you think of Gene Hackman, Jeff?
Brilliant, brilliant. I think he's my favorite character in this because I just love and adore Gene Hackman. Ever since when I was a kid, I saw him as Lex Luthor in the Superman films. I think that's where I definitely first saw him. All the way to his other great films, Mississippi Burning, Unforgiven. The Clint Eastwood films that he collaborated on. Yeah, other one was Absolute Power, like that one as well. Just about everything I've seen of him. He's such. Of course, I would be remiss not to mention his Oscar-winning performance in The French Connection as Popeye, which is fantastic. Yeah, I just absolutely love and adore Gene Hackman, and just to say, rest in peace, Gene Hackman. I know we lost him earlier this year. Such a legend, and he's left us a great filmography, great body of work, and this is one of my personal favorite films that he has done.
Yeah.
This one, yeah, I think it's fantastic. How about yourself?
Yeah. For me, I think he steals the show in every scene. Even when he comes into the bar with the Spurs, with his boots. I love Gene Hackman when he plays that villain.
Yeah.
I mean, the start of the movie, he kind of looks like Lex Luthor in a Western. But as the movie goes on, he gets more nastier and nastier, and he gets into that kind of Unforgiven
Yeah, I was going to say,
character.
got a little bit of Little Bill vibes from him in this film. Yeah,
As the movie goes on, I mean, obviously, that was 3 years before this movie, and you sort of think, damn, he looks fantastic in a Western.
yeah,
He's an evil man. He really, really is. I do like the scenes with him and DiCaprio. There was a good scene on the steps where, obviously DiCaprio's character, the kid, which we'll get to, sort of says, he wants respect, that he's kind of like a long lost son, and Gene Hackman tries to sort of, don't you ever eyeball me. I mean, Gene Hackman, when he's this kind of big bully, he's quite an intimidating
yeah,
actor,
absolutely.
and he can pull these characters off. And I thought Gene Hackman was absolutely fantastic in this movie. I think he carries the movie quite a lot in the movie. So, he's my favorite. A lot of the scenes that he's in, I think, are some of my favorite scenes. Gene Hackman, for sure.
Definitely, yeah. He had that versatility because he could switch from playing a good guy to like an anti-hero and definitely a villain. He could do it all. He's such a versatile actor. Yeah.
And like you say, I mean, he passed away early this year, 95 years old, and great body of work, a lot of movies and performances that he was in. So may he rest in peace, Gene Hackman.
Absolutely.
So we'll go to the next lead, which goes to Russell Crowe, who plays Court, former outlaw turned Preacher. What did you think of Russell Crowe in this one? Yeah.
Yeah, Russell Crowe. I think his character was definitely another solid addition to the cast. You definitely know the name. He's a respected actor. I'm a fan of him. Not in everything. There's been a few things where I'm like, okay, but in most of the stuff that I've seen, obviously the big ones that spring to mind: Gladiator, Cinderella Man. Those would be my two personal favorites of Russell Crowe. Also, The Insider with Al Pacino. I think he delivers a strong performance in that film as well. Master and Commander is one that I like. This one it's a really good performance. I like his character. It's kind of like the Reverend who's sort of renounced violence and stuff, and the fact that he's kind of like a prisoner and he's kind of like forced to enter into this quick draw competition. I think that there's good character stuff there. I think Russell Crowe does a really good job. I do like him a lot as an actor. Yeah, how about you?
Yeah, I like Russell Crowe. He's a very good actor. I mean, at this time, I think it's a little bit to American audiences. Obviously, Gladiator would be the one where he put himself out there and became a big actor. I think I know that. I think Sharon Stone, she wanted Russell Crowe in this movie. I think he actually, the part that he was going for was going to be more of a smaller part. I think Sharon Stone wanted Russell Crowe. Obviously, there's the connection. They got that little bit of intimacy quite a bit, which happens towards the end of the film, and it works. The two of them, they kind of like a pair in this, and
It's a good chemistry. Yeah,
great chemistry, and they do have their moments. Russell Crowe. Yeah, I like the character that he's in, the way he comes into town also. So Russell Crowe was definitely a great add-on for this, even though it was early in his career. Russell Crowe, fine actor, and those movies that you mentioned, he's always been fantastic, and definitely an actor worth watching in the movie. A little bit kind of forgotten now. He's not really in these big movies, and
yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of gets like pushed aside to like a villain role these days. But I know
I think the last notable thing I've seen him in was like Man of Steel, the Superman film from 2014.
Yeah, he's a good actor. I do like him in Cinderella Man. I thought he was
Unhinged. Unhinged is another one I've seen.
Unhinged, yeah, that was the last one that I watched. And he did play a right psychopath in that one. So yeah, it was good seeing Russell Crowe in an early performance to the American audiences for sure.
Definitely.
So yeah, the last of the main four leads, which goes to the young Leonardo.
Very young. Yeah,
the very young Leonardo DiCaprio, who plays
Babyface DiCaprio. Yeah, there he is.
The perfect name in this one, the Kid. I mean,
the Kid.
Yeah. What did you think of Leonardo in this one?
I like him in this one. I've got to admit, I've never in my past never been too big of a fan of him. It's really been through the Tarantino films that I've really gone to respect and appreciate him a bit more. Like Django Unchained, I thought he was fantastic in that film. And obviously, the most recently, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It's really been through the Tarantino films that I've really gathered a lot of admiration for DiCaprio. Then I went back and saw some other films. Wolf of Wall Street is a fantastic one. Never been too big on Titanic myself. That's just personal preference. It's nothing to do with the acting. It's just not my kind of film. But I think he's great in this film as the fresh face, baby face, even Kid. Who, there's a lot of cool moments, cool scenes with his character, let's say, and I did really appreciate him as another addition to this cast, to this great all-star cast, to be honest. So yeah, I think DiCaprio is again, he just rounds out a great foursome of main stars, in my opinion. So yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah,
yourself, Carlos.
His character really, obviously, he's a lot younger. It kind of blends. You got a lot of different characters in The Quick and the Dead, and that really, really works because there's nobody the same in how they look and all different backgrounds.
Yeah, definitely.
I would say Leonardo DiCaprio early on. I mean, This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro.
I was going to say, is this before This Boys or is this after? Because I have seen that film.
I think that one was the first one that I watched. De Niro and Ellen Barker in that movie. That's a fantastic movie. So when I watched that movie and this movie, I thought you can see they're going to push this kid out there. I got to be honest. I didn't think he was going to be this huge worldwide global star, because you could probably say Leonardo DiCaprio is one of the biggest movie stars out there who can literally command what he wants for a movie. I love those first two performances, obviously, in this movie and This Boy's Life. Some of the other stuff that when he was, with the Titanic movie, I wasn't really a fan of. Certain roles that he's been, when he tries to play a tough guy, I'm not really. It's hard for me to kind of believe, like Django Unchained, believe it or not.
Well, you really won me over with that one, to be honest. Yeah.
But it's movies like do you know what? It's movies like the Wolf of Wall Street and Shutter Island, which I really have grown to like him quite a bit, and even more so recently with the latest movie, One Battle After Another. He's fantastic in that. So he's, certain actors and actresses, as they get older, they do sometimes win me over. And I mean, perfect casting for him as the kid, which they actually wanted Matt Damon, but he declined straight away.
Yeah.
But Leonardo DiCaprio is perfect for this. I mean, when you see this movie, you think, God, he's so fresh-faced. He looks like 13. He's really skinny and but
definitely fits the part. He
holds his own with quite a few scenes with Gene Hackman and Sharon Stone. I think Gene Hackman's my standout character that he plays. As the mayor. But second, I've got to say Leonardo DiCaprio is superb in this. It was you could easily tell if you haven't watched this movie that he was always going to be a star. For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So they are the first kind of, I'll say the main four leads, but like Jeff says, this cast is stacked. And we're going to briefly mention some of the other people who were in the movie. Keith David pops up in this one as like a hired
I love Keith David. Yeah.
By the locals. They kind of want him to kind of take out Gene Hackman's character. Briefly, Jeff, what did you think of Keith David in this one?
I love and adore Keith David ever since The Thing. Obviously, he's also in Marked for Death with Steven Seagal. He's been in so many great films that I'll remember, that I'll watch over and over again. And he's just always... He has a carrying presence, whenever he he just has a demanding presence. That's the word I was looking for. Demanding presence when he's on screen. It's just always a delight to see him. So again, having him in this film as another great member of the cast, sure, it adds to it. It's fantastic. Yeah,
a different character with all the main leads in there. I kind of think when you watch the movie, he's in that scene where he's counting the money. When Sharon Stone, one of the early scenes where she opens the door in that bar, in that hotel sort of thing. And you kind of think that's something is going to develop a lot more. Obviously, he's been hired by the locals to take out John Herod, the main, the mayor, which doesn't go according to a plan.
Yeah, I was going to say, without spoilers, I did not see the ending to his character coming in the way that it did.
Yeah,
Let's put it that way.
Keith David's character, Cantrell, he went out in style. I wouldn't say a blaze of glory, but it didn't go good for his character. And obviously,
it was a moment that was definitely shocking and unexpected the way that happened.
I mean, he was always going to be remembered for those Carpenter movies, but. Yeah, a recognizable face. Even if you don't know the name of Keith David, he always pops up.
Yeah.
So he was good as a kind of like a supporting cast in there, no matter how brief it was. So we go to another one of the supporting cast. Actually, a favourite of mine, Lance Henriksen, who plays gunfighter in Leather. Ace.
Yeah.
Jeff, what did you think of Lance Henriksen as the gunfighter Ace?
Again, I might sound like a broken record, but no, I absolutely love everything I've seen Lance Henriksen in. My most standout film from him is obviously Hard Target, where he plays the villain against Van Damme. I think you really see that's not a Van Damme film, that's a Lance Henriksen film.
Yeah, I knew you was going to say that one.
Yeah. obviously, he was Bishop in Aliens. He appeared in films way back in like '75. He appeared in Dog Day Afternoon with Pacino in a minor role. He's been in so many stuff, and again, always just a delight to see Lance Henriksen. Obviously, the first Terminator, he's in that as well. He was originally supposed to be the Terminator, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah,
it's neither here nor there. But no, I love and adore Lance Henriksen. I really, really got a kick out of his character in this one. I thought he played a really great character. Yeah.
do you know what? He's kind of one of my favourite sort of character actors, because when he pops up, no matter how brief it is, you're always going to recognise him. And he's been in stacks of movies. I think the first one I remember him, he was Damien's protector in Damien Omen 2.
Of course. Yeah.
And obviously he was in the Aliens movie and Terminator. I always think he's a bit of an underrated actor. He done that TV series Millennium, which is one I've always wanted to see. I think it's Millennium. I'll have to double make sure if I've got that one, which is kind of like a sci-fi thriller sort of series. But very, very good actor. I actually love the look of him in this movie. I mean, like, he's dressed in leather.
Yeah.
And comedic moments, which I think no doubt we'll mention in some of my favourite scenes. But yeah, I mean, when I look at him in his outfit, all dressed up in leather, he's a bit of a poser, and I kind of sort of think, all the gear but no idea sort of thing. And as he gets found out, he's kind of a fake gunfighter with some of the wild stories that he claims, and obviously he goes out in very good detailed.
Yeah, that also reminded me a bit of Unforgiven, of like English Bob with his tall tales and Unforgiven. Kind of reminded me of that. Yeah. I
mean, just to look at him, the way he's kind of dyeing his beard, and he's going through his hair, and out of all the gunfighters, he was probably one of my favourites, just because he had a very unique look.
Definitely stands out. Yeah.
I mean, even one scene when he got his clothes robbed, he's got his long johns. And normally in westerns, when a gunfighter is wearing long johns, it gets revealed to their long johns. They're normally dirty and dusty. He's like pristine.
Pristine, yeah.
White and clean. It's like, I just laughed at that scene. I mean, for the scenes that he's in, he's fantastic in this movie, Lance Henriksen. So yeah, he was definitely. I just wish he was in more of the film, because I love his character in this movie, Lance Henriksen, for sure. And onto a few more other actors, which we'll go on to two veteran actors, where we just briefly mention Pat Hingle, who's been in quite a few westerns himself. He plays the bar owner, Horace, I think his name is. Briefly, Jeff, what did you think of Pat Hingle?
Well, he's another character actor I've always liked whenever he popped up, whether it's in like a Clint Eastwood film like Hang 'em High, The Gauntlet. I think there's also an impact. Or whether it's Batman, the Batman films as Commissioner Gordon. He's just always had that face and that presence. You always recognize him. You're always like, hey, it's that guy. It's great character actor. Yeah. Like,
I mean, he might have been near 80 or late 70s when he done this. I mean, obviously he's quite weighty, but I mean, he was always a bit of a chunky sort of guy. But while rewatching this, I actually forgot Pat Hingle was in this. Obviously, when you see him in the movie, he pops up. We don't get to see him towards the end of the movie. It was kind of like, oh, that's Pat Hingle. God, he would have been pretty old when he was in this movie, because the first movie that always reminds me of him is Hang 'em High. Yeah, which that was in the 60s, and he's doing this in 1995. Recognizable face, and it was good to have him in the movie. We'll go briefly and mentioned another veteran actor, Woody Strode, who kind of plays the coffin maker in, I think it was his last movie, kind of like
I think so, yeah.
A last cameo sort of performance of him. Obviously, we've spoken to him on the Westerns for Life podcast in quite a few movies, like The Professionals. We mentioned how we liked him in this.
Yeah, Man Who Shall Live Be Valance.
Yeah. Obviously, he looked a lot older, a little bit on the frail side. Obviously, we'll just mention, what did you think you thought when you saw Woody Strode pop up in this movie?
Yeah, just a delight. Just a delight as a Western fan. It's like, oh, it's Woody. It's he's been so going back all the way to the 40s, 50s, and all those films with John Wayne. He just has a legacy that goes back so far. And especially as a Western fan, you're like, oh, great! It's so great to see Woody again. Doesn't sadly get to do much in this film, but it's still a great aha moment. Like, hey, it's Woody. Yeah. So it was a nice little addition. Yeah.
I did laugh at the scene when Sharon Stone comes into town, and he asks for measurements, because he's like he's getting a coffin set up, and that reminded me of a fistful of dollars
Yeah.
moment. And he added a little bit to it, even though he would have been quite old,
Yeah.
Woody Strode. And I think the last character that we'll mention is TV star and actor Gary Sinise, which I was quite surprised that he was in this, but I don't think he actually said anything. Obviously, he plays Sharon Stone's dad, the former marshal, which
in the flashback sequence,
the flashback scenes, which probably do get unravelled. Again, briefly mentioned, what did you think of him? Obviously, it was just flashback scenes that he was in. Were you surprised in seeing him in this one?
Yeah, it was kind of like hey, I recognize him. Then I looked up the cast, and I was like, hey, it's Gary. The villain from what is it, Ransom with Mel Gibson, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I always remember him from that one. There's another one, I think Reindeer Games with Ben Affleck. I remember him from that one as well. I'm used to seeing him as the villain. It was kind of surprising that not only was he not a villain, but he was also, just like a cameo more. I
was quite surprised, Jeff, because I mean, it was only a couple of years previous that he was in Forrest Gump and Apollo 13, and they're two big blockbuster movies. So to have Gary Sinise in a very, it was
cameo.
Big,
it's a cameo.
Yeah, more of a cameo. It's just a few black and white sort of flashback scenes, and I mean, I think they probably could have got any actor to have done that, but to get someone who's recognisable just shows you how stacked and great this movie looks with the cast. So I think
before the horror hounds are screaming at us in the comment section, I do also want to mention Tobin Bell, Jigsaw himself from the Saw films. He's in this film as well. So
like I say, big cast.
It's a big cast.
Big cast. So they are the main leads and the supporting cast, and we'll go on to the next section where we just briefly mentioned the director, Sam
behind the camera.
Raimi.
Yeah.
Behind the camera.
Behind the camera, Sam Raimi. What did you think of Sam Raimi in his work in putting this movie together, Jeff?
Yeah, I really like his work on this film. I think he did a terrific job. He's a great director anyway, but I think he even admitted like he took a lot of influence and inspiration from like the spaghetti westerns in particular the Sergio Leone ones, obviously.
Yeah,
and I think that really shines through when you watch this film. There's a lot of spaghetti flavors, spaghetti western touches to the film. So to see that Sam Raimi was a big fan of those films and he sort of incorporated that into this particular film, it was just a delight to see. And also, I think he's just a great director of obviously Evil Dead and all that stuff. You could say it's kind of a different step for him because he's usually is known as the horror director from the Evil Dead and stuff. So this is kind of like a different turn in his career. But I think he pulled it off. I think he really. I think he should direct another western. I would not mind. Let's put it this way. I would not mind seeing another western from him. So I think he did a good job.
I got to be honest. When it was announced that he was going to be doing a western, I was very surprised. I really, really was. I thought, I don't know if that would really work. Obviously, most people would know him as the director of, The Evil Dead.
Or maybe Spider-Man. I
was about to say, that's my favourite Spider-Man movie.
Mine too.
First one. So, obviously, he's done other stuff. I think he stretched himself as a director. And when I got around to watching this movie, in the 90s, I was kind of more curious. I wasn't sure if I was going to be expecting a great western. I like the style, the way that he shot it, because it's kind of like a sort of comic book western, because some of the scenes when people are getting killed, they're overdone. They're doing backflips and stuff like that, but not overly overdone. And there's a few explosions which do
Oh
go
yeah.
a little bit OTT, but it kind of adds to it. And yeah, I thought it was a really good, well-directed movie. I did like the flashback scenes. I mean, yeah, it's got a bit of a budget. I mean, it cost $35 million to make this, and they only earned $47 million back. It could have been a whole
Hmm.
lot more, bigger, but with the cast that it had. But it's a glossy western, and I know myself and you, Jeff, we don't normally go for these kind of high budget glossy westerns, but this one, it does pay respects to the Sergio Leone work. There's a lot of homages to the great westerns
Yeah.
before, and I liked all that. So thumbs up for me. I think Sam Raimi done a very good western, and that's not a bad shout that you said. That you should maybe do another western.
Yeah.
So Sam Raimi done very, very well. Well, we definitely both agree on that.
The music.
So we go on to the music or the soundtrack briefly, Jeff.
Alan Silvestri. Yeah.
So what did you think of the soundtrack?
Yeah, again, just like with as I touched upon with Sam Raimi, the director, definitely a lot of homages to spaghetti westerns within the soundtrack. The whole soundtrack, the main theme in particular, did feel like a little riff on Morricone, a little bit. It did really have that style. And Alan Silvestri, I think, is just a great composer. I mean, just look at all the films that he's worked on, and it's amazing. So I like the soundtrack for it. I would not necessarily buy it on CD or anything, but for the film, it really, really works, and definitely pays homage again to spaghetti western. So that thumbs up for me.
Yeah, I got to agree with you. It wouldn't be one that I'd go out and buy. It's fitting for that time when they shot this western in the mid-90s. It pays homage to the American westerns, and I didn't have a problem. Like I said, I didn't love the soundtrack, but I didn't hate it. I thought it fitted for a lot of the scenes and the movie. So it definitely added, in my opinion, the actual soundtrack, which is westerns normally is a big part of very good and great classic westerns. So that's the soundtrack, and I think we're going to the next section where we talk about our favourite scenes.
Favorite scenes.
Jeff, pick out a favourite scene from this movie. For me, I think there's quite a few good, catchy, eye-catching scenes to this movie. Give us a favourite scene.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but I think the one I'm just going to single out, again, just because it was so unexpected, as I alluded to earlier, is the moment between Gene Hackman and Keith David, because just the way that the scene builds up tension, and especially the climax. So I did not see it coming. That's definitely one of those moments that sticks with you after you watch the film. Well, there's a lot of moments, but in particular, that one for me. I mean, but there's so many other scenes I could go for. Obviously, Sharon Stone's introduction in the film, and also the finale with like you mentioned, there's some explosions and stuff, which did really remind me of Fistful of Dollars, of the ending of Fistful of Dollars.
Yeah, I was going to say that. Yeah.
So there's a lot I can pick, but I'm just going to single out the scene of Hackman versus Keith David. It will be leaving out a lot of DiCaprio moments that I love in the film and stuff, but I'm gonna stick with that one for now. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with, obviously, it's the storyline is like this big gunfighter sort of elimination tournament. So you do get a lot of characters. I think it's 16 gunfighters, and obviously it goes into the knockout stages. You get an array of different sort of looking gunfighters. I'm going to go with the duel scenes with Gene Hackman and Lance Henriksen's character Ace, because it's not so much. Okay, he kind of finds out that he's a fake gunfighter. It's the scene afterwards where certain gunfighters get taken out, and then you get the local thieves. They're literally robbing
Yeah,
the clothing and the
I
jewelry
like that. Yeah,
of certain dead gunfighters. And obviously, Ace is dressed from head to toe in leather,
yeah,
waistcoat, jacket, boots, everything. They strip him down to nothing.
yeah,
Um, I got a kick out of that. The thieving locals. There was also another scene where Sharon Stone, who plays Lady, takes out that dirty old man and shoots
hmm.
him out in the street.
That was a good
She
scene. Yeah,
she guns him down, and ugly looking man he was. And then you got the thieving locals. They're trying to take out one of his gold teeth.
gold. Oh, it's got gold tooth. Yeah,
I laughed at that.
yeah,
That really did crack me up. So there's some very good scenes. Obviously, the finale scene I don't really want to sort of mention too much. Obviously, Leonardo, there is a good scene with him. Obviously, he wants to
yeah,
respect that John Herod is, the mayor is kind of like the long lost, that's his father, but he won't admit
mm,
that, the kid is his real son. There was a little moment where he did a bit of compassion. I enjoyed the scenes with DiCaprio and Gene Hackman. I thought they were very, very good. So,
yeah,
like me and Jeff said, there are some very eye-catching scenes in The Quick and the Dead. There's some good sort of violence in it, plus with humour mixed in,
yeah.
like I just mentioned. So yeah, there was a
And
good
if you got
point.
the European cut, you can see Sharon Stone's stones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
So
extended
yeah,
scene. So
yeah,
yeah, that's some of our favourite scenes. So Jeff, we'll kind of go into the good points and bad points, and kind of like the review roundup and cowboy hat rating to this movie.
yeah. So I mean, overall, I just think this is just a really, really great Western. I don't really have a lot of bad points. I don't really have any, to be honest. I think it's just very solid all around. I also think this is a very good entry level Western for people that
Mm,
want to get into it. I think this is one that I would recommend to newcomers. It's like, hey, you might like
mm,
this one a lot because um, it's got a great cast
mm.
and everything. It's got a great story, got a great action. So I think it's just all around. It ticks all the boxes. I think for what you would like from a Western, at least for what I would like to see from a Western. So it's got a good cast, it's got a good story, it's got a solid music score, as we talked about, that really accompanies the film very well. And I mean, come on, Gene Hackman, he's a
Yeah,
legend. Just anything with Gene Hackman gets my seal of approval. So
yeah,
overall, I just really want to recommend this to people that haven't seen it. Like I said, it's a good entry level Western. And my cowboy hat rating, I should say, is probably, I'm leaning towards a 7.5 or 8 cowboy hats out of 10. It's somewhere in between it. So I might go. Let's go for an 8. Let's go for 8 cowboy hats out of 10. Yeah, because I really like
okay,
this
Jeff.
one. Yeah,
Good points. Obviously, I mean, for anyone who hasn't seen this movie, the cast is definitely going to pull you in. That's the first kind of that's going to be eye catching in that. Obviously, Sam Raimi directing the Western because, like I say, when it first came out, I thought, oh, okay, this is a bit, this is a curious one. A stacked cast. I think all Western fans would enjoy this movie, whether you're sort of average Western fan. I think this definitely does appeal to newer fans because it's quite glossy, comic book styled,
yeah,
and a lot of the characters. There is some good shootouts, and there is some good violence, and a little bit of sex, a little bit of comedy in it. Some very fun comedic scenes. It's a very, very good Western that I think that would appeal to all Western fans for sure. There isn't that many bad points in this movie. I mean, yeah, you might get kind of diehard Western fans who might say, well, it's a little bit, it might have been a Western that wouldn't have been made in the 50s or 60s, but it was made in the
no,
mid
yeah,
90s, and obviously things were
yeah.
changing.
Times were different. You could do much more. It's different times. Yeah,
So that kind of style in the mid 90s goes with the actual direction that Sam Raimi brought to the table. Yeah, I mean the explosion scenes and
yeah,
a few of the gunfighters when they get taken out. they get sort of like they're doing backflips, and they're getting shot. You can see
Yeah.
some graphic sort of injuries and sort of people, they're flying back 20 feet back. But it adds to the movie. It's kind of like a comic book styled Western. It ticks the boxes for me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely one I would strongly recommend. I mean, Jeff's right. For anybody who wants to get into Westerns, this is a good one to get into for sure. I mean, I'm going to give this a strong 7.5 cowboy hat rating. Yeah, it could easily go into 8.
Yeah.
But fantastic movie. It is, modern day Western, whatever you want to call it, mid 90s, 1995. Yeah, very, very good Western from Sam Raimi, which I got to be honest, when I watched it, I was surprised it was going to be as good as it was. And great performances, like Jeff said. Gene Hackman steals the show, Leonardo DiCaprio as well. And obviously Sharon Stone, who was really hot at the time, both ways in demand as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's a lot to with the cast to sort of to enjoy from this movie, The Quick and the Dead. So I think we'll talk about this is kind of a Western that's easily you can pick up
Yeah.
worldwide on Blu-ray. I mean, I got the recently released 30th anniversary 4K steelbook
Take a look at
from
that. Yeah.
the US. Yeah, I mean, it's like I say, it's all. If there's a special edition on the Western that I like, I don't mind sort of purchasing. It looks outstanding on 4K. I got to say, the actual evening dinner date scene with Hackman and Sharon Stone, the lady, and John Herod, I thought it looked really, really, it looked good that very moment. I thought it looked really sharp. So, what release do you have, Jeff?
Awesome. Yeah, I might have to actually make the jump to 4K. I just got the German regular Blu-ray,
Yeah.
which for once the Germans got the title right. This actually does kind of translate to The Quick and the Dead. So, but yeah, no, it's the just a regular studio Sony release. It does have the European cut on there, so I did get to see Sharon Stone's. Well, again, Stones in this one. So,
I always like that poster. I always like that poster of the 4. Obviously, there is the 4 characters in this one. Obviously, they've done something a bit different.
That's not bad.
Yeah. It's a nice release, and obviously, that got released by Sony in the US. So yeah. Is any trivia? We kind of missed that little bit out in this movie. Jeff?
I think we did cover some trivia, but I do have one that I do want to point out for, in particular, the gamers among us that are watching us, and I'm a gamer myself, but the whole quick draw competition thing that's hugely paid homage to in the game Red Dead Revolver, which is the precursor to Red Dead Redemption and Red Dead Redemption 2.
Okay.
And Red Dead Revolver is a huge quick draw thing. There's even like a reference to the kid. There's like a young kid character like the DiCaprio one. It's fully homaged in that video game. So I did want to point that out. Yeah.
I think the only bits of trivia that I think Sharon Stone, obviously she co-produced this. I think Sony Pictures, I don't think they were actually. They had doubts over Leonardo DiCaprio because obviously they wanted Matt Damon, who declined. But I did read up that Sharon Stone actually paid for his salary.
Okay.
She strongly wanted Leonardo DiCaprio in the movie. I think the movie was actually going to be filmed in Mexico, but I think Gene Hackman, whether he had an influence, I think it ended up getting filmed in Arizona. So yeah, I mean, like I say, the movie had mixed reviews, which I can't understand why, because I think it's a fine Western. I really, really do. It's a great one for me. Like I say, we've mentioned highly recommended, and for anybody who's not big on Westerns and say that Westerns are a little bit on the slow side, you're going to be on board with this one, The Quick and the Dead, for sure.
Absolutely,
So yeah, that is episode 22 wrapped up, our 30-year anniversary of The Quick and the Dead, which was filmed in 1995. And I think we're going to take it to Jeff for episode 23 for his choice of Western, which is going to be another anniversary episode. So, Jeff, which Western have you chosen?
So for the next episode, we have decided on The Sons of Katie Elder from 1965, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm saying that correctly.
Yeah.
Which has, which again, we'll put a poster up for, which does again have a big cast, John Wayne, Dean Martin. It's one that I've only seen once, so it's going to be a much overdue rewatch for me for the podcast. I'm looking forward to rewatching it. It is one that I do remember enjoying when I watched it a few years back. So
John Wayne, Dean Martin return. I always like seeing them two together. So yeah, that'd be episode 23. I say, Jeff, are you going to take it away and say what sort of platforms that we are on? Advertise that.
Of course, yes, because we are not only just broadcasting here on YouTube. You can also find us pretty much wherever you find podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. We used to be in Google Podcasts, but that's a thing of the past. Google Podcasts no longer exist, but we used to be on there. But just type in the Westerns for Life podcast on your Google search engine or whatever, your Chat GPT, whatever the kids use these days. And it will come up on all different platforms. So,
and then we sort of like pay homage, obviously, to Dan. Obviously, he's got other commitments.
Yeah.
I hope he gets to watch this episode and he give us, kind of like, the thumbs up to carry on with the series because, we do love talking Western. So we want to carry this one on. And so, if Dan returns, who knows? But the show,
the saloon door is open. The whiskey is at the ready for you, Dan. So anytime.
The show must go on. So we'll carry it on. So guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. Guys, cheers for watching, and we'll just shout out Westerns for Life.
Westerns for Life, amigos, and I will see you on the next episode.
This is my town! If you live to see the dawn, it's because I allow it. I decide who lives or who dies.
In a town called Redemption, death is a way of life. Some fight for money. Some fight for glory. But one stranger has come here, looking for something else.
I now declare the quick draw competition open. Anybody can challenge anybody.
Sign me up.
Sure must want to die young, miss.
She can play their game.
Want to play poker with me, little lady?
Looks like you're having a pretty good time playing with yourself.
She can beat their odds.
Did you ever kill anyone?
Sure.
I don't think you have.
But there's one thing she can't do.
Why are you really here? You're no gunfighter.
Forget the past.
String him up! Put him on a chair!
Some people deserve to die.
TriStar Pictures presents Sharon Stone.
I'm gonna kill you if I have to ride all the way to hell to do it.
Gene Hackman.
There's nothing on this earth that frightens me now. Nothing.
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Hey, my bad.
In a film by Sam Raimi. The Quick and the Dead. In this town, you're either one or the other.